Good morning from the saddle before Mount Lindsey. I'm super excited to be here with you guys. I didn't think I'd ever be able to film this episode. Mount Lindsey's been closed for so long, so it's super dope to be up here with you guys. Yeah, super stoked. So today we're gonna be doing the Northwest Ridge, which is just the ridge line all the way up to there. And we're already at 13.7. It was almost 3.5 miles to get here. Trail conditions were fine. The first mile's like totally flat, and then it goes like super up. But anyway, yeah, Mount Lindsey right here, and we got Huerfano right there, and this is the Iron Nipple. So yeah, let's do it. All right, guys, let's take just a quick second to talk about Mount Lindsey. I freaking love this peak. Like, this is a top 5 14er summit for me. I had so much fun this day. And like I said, I'm extremely excited to be bringing you guys this video because I didn't think I'd ever be able to legally summit this peak. So as I'm sure you guys are aware, the summit and really the routes above 13,000 feet on this peak are on private land. And a couple months into starting this project, the land was closed to the public because of, risk and liability. Thankfully, starting this spring, they introduced a waiver system. So if you are going to summit Mount Lindsey, you have to fill out this waiver. I'll leave a link in the description to the waiver, but if you just Google Mount Lindsey waiver, it will pop up. The waiver covers the 2 established standard routes up this peak. That would be the Northwest Gully and then the Northwest Ridge. And once you fill it out, you should be good to go. So yeah, huge thank you to Colorado 14ers Initiative, the ranch owners, and everyone who was involved in bringing this peak back to being able to be summited legally. Anyway, let's jump into the peak. So on the map right now, you can see an overview of Mount Lindsey. Here's the parking area. Obviously, the summit is up here. This map is actually really convenient because the 2 different shades of green show you where the private land starts. So when you cross this line here at 13,000 feet, you are entering private property, and that's where you need the waiver. I don't really have a lot to say about the approach. I thought it was extremely beautiful. I didn't really have a problem with the log jam, very similar to the log jam on Snowmass, though maybe a little bit easier. Route finding wasn't a big problem. Do pay attention to that trail split that everyone talks about a mile in. That one is easy to miss in the dark. Around the boulder field, I definitely did have some problems with route finding, but part of what you gotta do to summit this peak. Talking about now the summit routes, when you gain the ridgeline here at 1315-ish, you start walking the ridgeline. Eventually, the Northwest Gully route will split off. It looks fine. It looks like a little bit loose, a little bit lower class, but obviously much worse trail conditions. I know this route is becoming a lot less popular. A ton of people are doing the Northwest Ridge. That's what I did. I highly recommend this route. I thought the Crux headwall was very fun. It can be kept at class 3, though I think most people end up making some 4th class moves at some point. What I will say though is the scrambling on this peak is pretty short. Once you're on the 1315 saddle, most of the way to Mount Lindsey is really class 2 scampering with the occasional 2+3- move. Really only for this little bit right here around the headwall is the scrambling actually very consequential and class 3 to 4. If you decide to add the Iron Nipple and Huerfano, the Centennial, it will take the hike from being about 8 miles to like 10.25. I don't have much to say about Iron Nipple and Huerfano. It's class 2. The Iron Nipple, there's like a micro knife edge that's like class 2+, but if you're able to do Mount Lindsey, you're more than capable of adding the Iron Nipple and Huerfano. But like I said, this is a top 5 peak for me. I had so much fun. Very excited to be bringing you guys this video and be a 58 peak finisher. Good to know. Don't hold on to those things. Hell yeah, we did. This is Mount Lindsey. We're on Northwest Lindsey. This is a 14,040 foot like false summit, or a little bonus 14er if you want to call it that. So let's just jump right over there. Man, it feels so good to be up here with you guys. I really wasn't sure if I was ever going to be able to finish all 58 14ers. I thought I was going to be stuck at 57, so it feels so good to be up here. Let's see. Blanca is this one. Little Bear is this one. Ellingwood is this one. Huerfano, the Centennial, is right here. Yeah. Culebra is somewhere out that way, I think. I could be wrong on that. The Creststones, you're probably not gonna be able to make them out, but they're like back there on the skyline. It's pretty smoky today, but beautiful day. Can't believe there's no one up here. It feels so good to be up here. It was a great day. A little bit on the windy side. I think there's some storms moving in this afternoon, but yeah, it took me 2 hours and 50 minutes to get up here, which is pretty good. And it was exactly, wow, I clocked exactly 4 miles. So yeah, 10 take it in for a while, eat some snacks, and then jaunt on out of here. Here you can see the other route is up this gully right here. I might have to zoom in, but yeah, that looks loose as hell. This is looking down the crux wall. The class 3 variation is like around here. I kind of came like up to here and banged across this thing and then up. So that's what I'm gonna do again.
I'll be fine as long as I'm with you. As long as I'm
Alright guys, so we're back on the Mount Lindsey saddle, and I think I've made the audible call to do the Iron Nipple and Huerfano too, because man, we're all the way up here, and it's like 0.8 miles to Huerfano or something, so it's like, do I have another hour? I have another hour, you know. So anyway, yeah, again, the Iron Nipple is right there, and Huerfano's right there. Bonus knife edge. I mean, like, kinda. right, sweet. We're on top of the Iron Nipple. Yeah, I mean, like, this is a 2+ scamper. And yep, now we're going to Huerfano. And of course, you have Lindsey back there. Woo! Guys, we're up here on top of Huerfano. It's a good little extra credit peak to grab along with the Iron Nipple. And of course, Mount Lindsey was the main feature of the day, is right there. So this is like 13,860, I think, or somewhere around there. So this is a Centennial. And yeah, I mean, if you're here, it took me, let's see, 45 minutes from the saddle to here. It'll probably take about the same back. So extra hour and a half on your day and like an extra, I don't know, like an extra 1.8 miles or 1.6, something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna take in the views and head on out of here. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this episode, the 58th peak of 14-year days. It feels so good to get the last one in that was hanging out there. Super stoked that Mount Lindsey is reopened to the public again. The approach was super beautiful, the scrambling up top was really fun, the views were amazing, and there was no weather. Honestly, couldn't ask for much more. Total mileage on the day, I recorded it at 10.2 miles. Now that is including the Iron Nipple and Huerfano. If you want to cut those out, Mount Lindsey by itself should be about 8, maybe 8.25. Total elevation gain, I recorded it right at 4,800 vert. If you just do Mount Lindsey by itself, it should be about 3,500 vert. It was an amazing day. Super excited that Mount Lindsey's reopened to the public, so go out there and get after it.